slightly different video. I'm going to show you how to do a patch repair on a panel. And if you want to come round and have a look, Stan, I'll show you why we are doing this, because it's quite nice. I'm pretty happy with it. So this was our first attempt at repairing it.
Do you want to get the torch behind there so we can see
all the holes?
So is there any pinholes?
Did you see any pinholes? There's an X-ray on that. Right. So just to clarify, we didn't actually do this. We're going to fix this. So there started out, there was a pinhole there, allegedly, and then it's been chased into this big clusterfuck here. And you can see how thin it is as well. Look, can you see that pushing on that?
Well, that thumb-sized hole.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut a section out here, wheel it up, put a bit of shape into it, TIG it in, clean it back, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So if you ever wondered how to put a patch panel in something, this is going to be the video for you to learn absolutely nothing to do with that. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to do it now. Okay, I've marked out the area here. If you see the scribe line, which I'm going to cut out, so I've just scored it with the scriber, and I'm now going to use the tin snips. Because there's this nice hole area here, I can just go in with the tin snips and I'll trim that shape out there. I've basically just gone out to where the metal starts to get good, to a decent thickness again, so we've got something to weld to. Okay, I've cut that section out, but as you can see, where you go from one way to the other way, we've got a slight little ripple here on the edges. So I'm just going to go around, planish it out, and then just tidy it up with a file on there, and then I'll start making the other panel. Okay, that is the hole now filed up in shape. I've got us a piece of steel, which is obviously larger than the hole. But now I'm going to quickly run this piece through the English wheel, because we obviously want a little bit of shape in the panel, because it's not a flat panel. You don't just want to put a flat piece in there, otherwise it's going to look terrible. I mean, you could tack it in and then start planishing it and put some shape into it, but we're going to do it before, just to give us a little bit of shape before we weld it in. So I'll do that now. Alright, so I've wheeled up that little panel now, so I'm going to score it out like I did when I scored this. Score it out on there, and then I'll trim it out and we'll start tigging it in place. Alright, that's the panel now trimmed to size. I've just got these two magnets holding it in, and I've got the TIG set up there, as you can see. Got it quite low, 24, because the bonnet or boot or whatever it is for this stupid thing is quite thin. So we're gonna keep the heat down. So I'll slowly start tacking it in, and then you'll see me, I'll planish it as I go around each tack, and then I'll clean it off with the grinder, and then we'll slowly work our way around and weld the whole thing. Hopefully it will go well. I'll put the time lapse on so you can see it all go terribly wrong. Alright, so that's the panel now just tacked in. So I'm going to clean these tacks back now, and then I'm going to planish it. But I've got to be careful, because where it's quite thin, I don't want to stretch around here any more than it already has been over its life. So we'll clean those back, planish it out, and then we will start the continuous weld all the way around. Right, that is the tacks. They've now been just ground down with the soft disc, and I've planished it so it's quite smooth now over it. So I'm going to start going round with the TIG and actually welding it up. I'm going to turn the TIG down a little bit to about 21, 22, and then see if we can do it without getting too much warpage. If we do, we'll have to planish it and then maybe do some heat shrinking around to get the metal tight again, if that happens, but hopefully it won't. Right, that's the area all tigged up now. We have a little bit of shrinkage just around this area. It's pulled down, and also down this edge, she's pulled in that way, the lengthways. So what we'll do first is knock the top of the welds off before we start planishing it to get rid of some of the metal. So I'll use the soft disc on the grinder. I've got a fresh disc. I'm gonna put a fresh disc on because it's always best to start with a fresh disc because you can put a lot of heat into a panel from the grinder. So yeah, I'm gonna knock the tops off the welds, then you'll see me planishing it out until I'm happy with it, both sides. Alright then, that is the repair all done. As you can see, we've done a lot of planishing, a lot of grinding, took our time. Do it slow because you don't want to get too much heat into the panel, which is the main thing. It's come out quite well. It's actually probably a bit better than the rest of the bonnet. Obviously the patch was just around here. You can just about pick it up. So that's going to be good now that it'll be able to go into like an epoxy primer and then do the paint stages, any filler. So that is how we repair or do patch panel repairs. Hopefully you've learned something. I'll quickly show you the tools that we used whilst we've done it, laid out. All right, these are just the tools laid out on the bench. You can see what we used to do the repair. So obviously the scriber and the ruler, the file, a couple of planishing things, spoon and dollies and whatnot, the soft disc on the grinder and on the little die grinder thing, and a clamp. And that's what we needed. And obviously the welder, the TIG welder. Better not leave that out, quite important. And that's ready to go back on the horrible, terrible Beetle. If you're thinking of commenting and asking us if we can do any work on your Beetle or Volkswagen or anything like that, stick it up your ass, because we don't do Volkswagens. We do Volkswagens? No, exactly. See, we don't do Volkswagens. That is now all done. Thank you for watching.